Hello everyone! This is Andrew and today we will talk about The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. Dialogue for kids. Characters: Alex, kid interested in science; Sam, another curious kid; and Professor Owl, a wise owl who explains things. Alex: Hey, Sam! Have you ever wondered why giraffes have such long necks? Sam: Yeah! It's so strange! They look like they're stretching to reach the sky. Professor Owl: Hoo! I can explain that, kids! It's all about something called natural selection. Alex: Natural what? Professor Owl: Natural selection. A long time ago, giraffes didn't have such long necks. But some giraffes were born with necks a little longer than others. Sam: Why? Did they eat too much? Professor Owl: Not quite. They were born that way, just like how some people are tall and some are short. Those giraffes with longer necks could reach leaves higher up in the trees. The giraffes with shorter necks couldn't find as much food. Alex: Oh! So the long-necked giraffes survived because they had food, and the short-necked ones didn't? Professor Owl: Exactly. The long-necked giraffes had babies, and many of their babies also had long necks. Over many years, giraffes' necks got longer and longer. Sam: So that's why they look like that now? Nature kind of chose the long necks? Professor Owl: You've got it, Sam! That's natural selection, when creatures with helpful traits survive and pass on those traits to the next generation. Alex: That's so cool! Does this happen with all animals? Professor Owl: Yes, it happens with all living things, animals, plants, even tiny bugs. Nature is always shaping life. Dialogue for English learners. Characters: Maria, English learner; Tom, friend; and Ms. Green, teacher. Maria: Tom, why do birds have so many different beaks? Tom: I think it helps them eat, but I'm not sure. Ms. Green: Great question, Maria! Birds' beaks are a perfect example of adaptation. Maria: Adaptation? What does it mean? Ms. Green: It means that animals change over time to survive in their environment. Birds with different beaks eat different kinds of food. Tom: Like what? Ms. Green: Imagine two birds living on an island. One bird has a big, strong beak for cracking nuts. The other bird has a long, thin beak for eating insects. Maria: Oh, so their beaks help them eat the food that's around them? Ms. Green: Exactly. If there are only nuts on the island, the bird with the strong beak survives and has babies. Over time, more birds with strong beaks are born. Tom: And if there are insects, the long beak birds survive instead? Ms. Green: That's right, Tom! This is called natural selection, when nature selects the best traits for survival. Maria: Wow! So animals change to match their environment? Ms. Green: Yes, and that's how all living things evolve over time. Darwin called this evolution. Here are the key terms from the dialogues, explained in a fun and simple way for kids and English learners. Natural selection: nature chooses which traits help plants and animals survive. Example: giraffes with long necks survived because they could eat leaves high in trees. Adaptation: a special feature or trait that helps an animal or plant survive in its environment. Example: birds with strong beaks can crack nuts, while birds with thin beaks can grab insects. Trait: a characteristic or feature of an animal or plant, like long necks, strong beaks, or thick fur. Example: a giraffe's long neck is a trait passed down from its ancestors. Environment: the place where a plant or animal lives, like a jungle, desert, or ocean. Example: the Arctic is a cold environment where polar bears live. Evolution: the process where living things change over millions of years. Example: giraffes evolved from ancestors with shorter necks. Survival of the fittest: the idea that animals most suited to their environment survive and reproduce. Tip: it doesn't mean fit like running fast. It means fit for survival, like having the right traits for your environment. Key grammar. Here are the grammar points from the dialogues, explained with fun examples. 1. Comparatives and superlatives. Giraffes with longer necks survived better than those with shorter necks. Explanation. Comparatives, like longer, compare two things. Add or use more to compare traits. Superlatives, like strongest, show the best or most extreme trait. Examples. A giraffe's neck is longer than a zebra's neck. The strongest bird survives in its environment. 2. Cause and effect, because so the long-necked giraffes survived because they could reach food. The bird with the strong beak survived, so it had babies. Explanation, because gives the reason, and so shows the result. Examples. Penguins are warm because they have thick feathers. The bird flew away, so it avoided danger. 3. Past simple for history. A long time ago, giraffes didn't have such long necks. Explanation. Past simple is used to talk about things that happened in the past. Add ed for regular verbs or use irregular forms, like go went. Examples. Animals lived in the sea millions of years ago. Early humans hunted animals for food. 4. Conditionals, if, then. If a bird has a strong beak, then it can crack nuts. Explanation. Conditionals talk about possibilities or results. If introduces the condition, and then introduces the result. Examples. If animals have fur, then they can stay warm in cold places. If plants don't get water, then they die. 5. Vocabulary and action, nouns and verbs. Birds' beaks are a perfect example of adaptation. Explanation. Use nouns, names of things like beaks or adaptation, and verbs, actions like survive or evolve, to explain concepts. Examples. Noun, the environment shapes an animal's traits. Verb, animals adapt to their surroundings to survive. Interactive practice 1. Vocabulary matching game. Match the vocabulary word with its definition or example. Natural selection. Nature chooses the best traits. Adaptation, a special feature that helps an animal survive. Trait, a characteristic like long necks or strong beaks. 2. Create your own animal. Imagine an animal living in a jungle, desert, or ocean. Question. What traits does it need to survive? Write a sentence using a comparative. My animal has longer legs than a cheetah to run fast. Its fur is thicker than a polar bear's to stay warm. 3. Cause and effect sentences. Look at these examples and complete the sentences. If a bird has a long beak, then it can underscore insects. Giraffes survived because they underscore leaves high in trees. The bird with the strong beak survived, so underscore